a minute, but we are back with another episode of the Forging Humans podcast. Motherfucker.
Better Humans.
It's been a minute, but we're back with the Forging Better Humans podcast. Did I get it right that second time?
Yes.
Cool. All right. So, moving on after that little correction. Me, just like everybody else, we get caught up in other things and forget we have podcasts, so we need to keep going all the time. So, yeah, we're back. And this time what I want to talk about is competition. So we touched on it briefly with Malachi and Kaylee. We've talked about it with Mike. You know, we even talked about it when we were in Virginia. Competition is a big thing. It's one of those things that I feel like as a society we're trying to push out. Like, we're not supposed to compete with our peers. You know, one person's not better than the other person, that kind of bullshit. You know, equality is everything. Everybody's equal. Bullshit. If I can lift more in a deadlift than you can, I am fucking stronger than you. That makes me better than you. So competition is a good place to do that. It's a good place to kind of show off the things that you've done, all the things that you've trained for, right? Now you're training in the gym, you're on cruise control, and you're doing the health and wellness kick, that's cool. But like, if you're ready to see where you stack up against everybody else, you've got to get outside of your gym to do that, right? I think most competitors or most extreme-minded folks know, even in the business sector. Like, if you really, really want to test your mettle, you got to get into a competitive arena to see where you stack up. So that's what competition's good for, and that is something that at Iron Legion, for the 10 years we've been in business, we're coming up on 11 years, we run probably 4 or 5 competitions, formal competitions a year. They're always super creative and super unique. I believe they've all got to have a theme behind them. You know, there's nothing more boring than just going to an obstacle course race called obstacle course race. It's fucking boring, right? But if you go to a place called the Spartan race, or you go to a place called the Savage race, right, and everybody's got their fucking war paint on and their weird shit they're wearing, right, it makes it a little bit more fun to go to. So I just feel like a lot of events need to have a bit of a theme, so a lot of our stuff does. One of our Down syndrome events is a donut-based Down syndrome event because my daughter loves donuts. And everything around it is donut-based, but it's a fitness competition, so it's super fun. So on that same thread. But getting out and competing, I think, is very, very important. I can remember my first CrossFit competition was probably 2010. Maybe 11. It was in Orlando. And I remember talking to my wife at the time. I was like, you think I should sign up for this? I've never even heard of anything like this. And she goes, well, you train pretty fucking hard. Harder than most people that I know. And it probably would be good to apply it to something and see where you're stacking up. And I was like, and ever since then, like, my wife gave me that little thought in my head, and it's kind of driven me all the time. So like, when I feel like I'm lacking in my training, or I'm missing in focus, I'll find a competition out there and I'll sign up for it, and damn if she's not right, man. Like, I just hone in on that, and then like my body fat percentage stays really well. I'm really disciplined about my training. I'm never gonna miss a session, right? Like that type of stuff. I'm gonna turn down other things that I would normally do just so I can stay focused on that particular competition. It does something for me, and I see it do things for other people too, and it's always in a positive manner. And all that stuff, you know, you hear this 75 hard thing, and you know, if you're going to be training and eating right and doing all these types of things, you know, they relate to your personal life. Not too much different if you sign up for a comp and you do those same things. Your business gets better, your personal relationships get better, your lifestyles get better. You're not just a lay around, a lush, a boring person, right? You're dialed in, you're focused in on something. So competition does that. So what I want to talk about, 2 comps we got coming up. We have our super heavy competition coming up in September. It is called the Super Total Grand Championships, the Ocala Super Total X3. And the reason we call it X3 is you can compete in each one of these federations or all 3 of these federations and get a super total, super total. So we have powerlifting. You can do powerlifting by itself. You can come here on a Saturday and just power lift your ass off and get the push, pull, the standard 3, big 3, all that type of stuff, compete in the powerlifting. Next piece, strongman. We have strongman going on. It's working with the USS Federation, and it is a federated event where we're going to have a strongman competition going on outside. And then the third thing you can compete in is Olympic weightlifting. So USAW, The Olympic weightlifting boys, they're going to be here too. So we're going to have all three of those going on at the same time. You can compete in each one individually, or you can pick two, or you can pick three and have a super, super heavy weekend. Really cool, fun event, laid back, chill, but heavy as fuck. Super fun to watch. It's outside of the CrossFit norm that we typically see around here in Central Florida, so it's really cool to do and to see. You get to try your hand at some implements, especially our strongman stuff is a little bit old school, so you get to play with the big old logs and the Hercules hold, cool shit like that you don't normally see in a lot of other places. So I highly recommend, if September 24th is our Super Total X3. You can look that up on Instagram if that's something that intrigues you. You want to get your lifts on, that's the event to go to. But I wanted to take a second to talk about the event we've got coming up in November. I honestly almost scrapped this event. I talked about it in an Instagram post. It got to where COVID and everybody's social attitude towards competition and fitness was turning into a complete shit show, and no one wanted to compete anymore. So over the last 2 years, it was just a little frustrating, almost upsetting to see the world just get flipped on its head by the minority of people that are just weak, right? I feel like we've made a good shift here in Florida, and that things are kind of getting back to normal, and that this event, Mayhem, is going to mark our big turning point of the stronger coming back. And we haven't really given up. We're always been around. It's just that we don't have these loud, whiny ass voices that everybody hears. We are going to show you on the competition floor. So we're bringing back Mayhem this year. Fenner's Mayhem is going to be November 4th and 5th. This is our banner event that we've held for 11 years. It's one of my favorite events. I went through some of my old videos. I went through, 8 or 10 years worth of videos and photos, and I got so fired up, man. I couldn't wait to do this comp, that we're bringing back all the pieces to it too. So we originally, I think we canceled the kids division about 3 years ago just because the helicopter parents were driving me absolutely bonkers. But I think we have a really good cure for that now. We have a lot of really good youth athletes in our gym right now that want to compete. And I can't wait to see these kids get out on the floor again and get a chance to compete at Mayhem, where I loved watching it before. So we're going to bring that back. We have 2 other pieces that are going to be coming as well. So let's talk about the actual format of Mayhem. Has never changed. It's Friday night. We do what we call skill stations. Friday night was designed as a competitor. I travel around to all these places, and whether in Florida, Virginia, or wherever I was going, and you always had to show up the night before to be able to compete the next day, because you had weigh-ins, or you had registration, or you just wanted to get acclimated to the area, right? You didn't have anything to do, so you're sitting in your hotel Friday night wanting something to do, right? Ocala, our Fenner's Mayhem, is no different. We just give you something to do that Friday night. So when you come into town, Ocala, Friday night, you come in, get registered, try your hand at some skill stations. We'll have a dozen skill stations set up. They're going to be like mini workouts. Everything will be less than 3 to 4 minutes. They're in a pass-fail situation, and you can pick up a couple of extra points. It runs kind of carnival style. There's no set heat time on Friday night. It's just walk up if the station is available, hit it, get your extra points, and walk. Pretty cool. Just gives you something to do. You get to meet some of the people for the event for the next day. Always my favorite part, especially when we do it outside like we're going to do this year at Citizen Circle. It's outside, it's under the lights, it's dark, it's cool as shit. So I highly recommend the Friday night skill stations. Super fun to watch, super fun to compete in. The next day, Saturday, is our full-on event where you're going to have 4 WODs. You'll have 3 workouts, and then you will have to qualify for the 4th workout. Top 5 will move on to the 4th workout. We always follow a lift heavy, go fast, take risks format for our first 3 workouts. So one of them will be a heavy lift, one of them will be a fast workout, and the other one's going to be a gymnastics style workout. So the best way to look at that, if you're building a team, get a heavy, get a fast, and get a risky gymnastic person, right? That's how you build a Mayhem team. So those things aren't going to be changed too much. That kind of format's always going to be there. We have some very interesting workouts. I'm literally going through them right here. Dialing them in right now. They are unlike anything that we've had at Mayhem before, so I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised by what you see, but they will follow that same loose format. 2 additions. So I want you to look at Mayhem this year almost like a rock concert, right? Like a speed metal, Viking death metal concert, if you want to look at it that way, right? We have the headliner. Fenner's Mayhem is the headliner. That's all of you CrossFit and functional fitness competitors that are going to be coming here to compete in our 11-year, this is our 11th or 12th year? 11th year of Fenris Mayhem. The sub-headliners, the other two events that are going to be going on at the same time, you will not be able to do all three of these. You're going to have to pick one of these three, so don't get this confused. You have your main headliner, Fenris Mayhem. The next one is going to be called Odin's Judgment. Odin's Judgment takes place on Saturday. It is a jiu-jitsu competition. It is an open jiu-jitsu competition on the mats, no-gi style, no gi, and you will be competing open. What that means is white belts compete against white belts, blue belts compete against blue belts, purple, get it. There's no weight classes. It is an open division, obviously males against males, females against females, but outside of that, it's white versus white, blue versus blue, color versus color. Got it? That is a bracketed competition that we're going to be doing during Fenris Mayhem. It's going to be up on the stage outside in Citizen Circle on the main platform. We'll have all of Fenris Mayhem going on around the outside, and Odin's Judgment Jiu-Jitsu competition will be up on the main stage up on the top. Super cool. So if you have buddies that are into jiu-jitsu, or if you're into jiu-jitsu, this is going to be one of Ocala's first outdoor jiu-jitsu competitions. Grappling. It's going to be badass. No-gi. I'm inviting every single gym here in Ocala. We've made some pretty good friendships with a lot of the local jiu-jitsu gyms here in town, so we're expecting a really cool turnout on that. The other piece that we have, the other sub-headliner is Warriors Call. It is a ruck. We're doing a ruck. Our Iron Legion cadre, Mike Oliveros, which we interviewed probably episode 2, I think, 2 or 3, is going to run that ruck. It is going to be a 12-hour ruck that will start Friday night at the skill stations. That ruck will assemble at the skill stations Friday night, and it will take place all night long until the very first workout of Fenris Mayhem the next day. So you'll be going from Friday at 9 p.m. at night until Saturday at 9 a.m. in the morning. You'll be rucking throughout Ocala. Now, Mike has done some very extensive rucks all across the country. He is very, very well versed in putting the hurt on you, so I think you're really, really going to enjoy that event. So we have 3 different things going on, guys. We have Fenris Mayhem, which is our functional fitness competition. We have, did I shake that thing too much? Yeah. And then we have Odin's Judgment, which is our grappling jiu-jitsu competition, all no gi. And then we have Warriors Call, which is our our ruck competition that we're going to be doing. So you can participate in any of those on that weekend. Needless to say, even as a spectator, this is going to be one hell of a show that you guys do not want to miss. So while we may have been stifled over the last couple of years, we're coming back loud, very loud and very strong this November. And I hope that you guys join the Voices of Mayhem right here at Citizen Circle November 4th and 5th. It's coming.